The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
Of you here on Ujima Radio. Good afternoon, my name's Miranda. You're listening to The Word on 98 FM. How you doing this afternoon? Hope you're well. It's so good to be back in the hot seat because of my days. It's been a long time and I've missed you guys. How you all doing? Hope you had a wicked Easter. I did. In fact, Top Dog is joining me here today because it is the Easter holidays, and in true tradition, Top Dog always joins me in the holidays, don't you? How you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
How was your Easter holidays?
It was chocolate filled.
It was slightly chocolate filled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What did you do on Easter Sunday?
Had an Easter egg hunt.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah. Like
How many Easter eggs do you think you found?
I don't know, but when I know until there was 77.
77 Easter eggs. How many Easter eggs do you think your dog ate?
About 10?
Yeah. Never leave your bag of Easter eggs where your dog can find them.
Because they can open wrappers.
Because if you didn't realise, your dog can open wrappers. But there we go. Poor dog was a little bit poorly afterwards, wasn't she?
Yep.
She was nearly as sick as you were. Yeah, so we all had a great Easter anyway. So we've been away for a long time. As I say, we've missed you guys. We've had some real ups and downs in our family over the last few months. And so I just want to say hello to everybody in our family. Thanks for all the support. And a big shout out going to Izzy, Aaron and Icarus, who've now sadly lost both their parents. But we're thinking of you guys. So anyway, moving on to today's show. We are here until 4 o'clock this afternoon. What have we got coming up on today's show, Top Dog?
Coming up first on the show is fitness and psychology coach Phoenix Liberty Rain. We're also going to be joined by the photographer Tom Page.
Awesome. I am so excited about this. Phoenix Liberty Page is she's got like a completely different take on health and fitness. Strong women and powerful minds, and no dieting. I mean, how cool is that? So we're going to meet up with her soon. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tom Page is a photographer who's organised and put together a photographic group meetup that's been going on for 7 years and includes 1,500 members. Can you believe that?
That is a lot.
That's a lot of members, isn't it? And also joining us today is Imogen Macintosh from Aidbox Convoy, who's going to be telling us all about this awesome festival that's going on next weekend called Love in the Hills. Really looking forward to hearing about that. But more interested as well to hear about what she's got to say, what's going on with Aidbox Convoy at the moment, which is an awesome Bristol-based charity raising money and awareness for the refugee crisis. And I believe she's bringing in a couple of refugees for us to meet. So that'd be awesome. Rounding up the show, we'll be meeting an incredibly talented Bristol-based musician, ALBA. So yeah, we've got a real fun-packed show. We've got Tom filming as usual. Hi Tom, thank you for coming in today, darling. But why don't we, Top Dog, start off the show with what you have got to talk about, which I believe you're going to do a review of the latest Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, so it came out on the 3rd of March, so not that long ago.
It's only a couple of weeks ago.
Not that long ago, but it costs £280, so it's a lot of money.
Do you think it's worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna guess it, you might want to wait a bit longer.
Why is that?
Because on the 28th of April, well, very soon, lots of exciting games will be coming out.
Oh, really?
So you might want to get it.
So what's
soon.
so special about this Nintendo Switch then? Why are you so excited about it?
Well, probably the hype around it is because it's portable, and you could literally go into a cafe and start playing.
But then why is that different from a Nintendo DS? You can take that anywhere.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it's multiplayer. The game that Nintendo made themselves is the game called 1-2 Switch. It's got 25 games in one little game cartridge. It's really fun and you can play it anywhere at any time with anyone.
It is actually a really cool game. Not mainly because it's portable, but also because it's interactive. If you can explain a little bit more about that, how you don't just have to sit down in a room and play it.
So with most of the games, you don't have to look at the screen. You're just looking at each other. For instance, there's sword fighting and being wizards and lots of exciting, really fun games on it.
Excellent. What are some of the games on there?
Well, as you said, there's sword fighting.
fighting.
You can sword fight with anyone.
How many kids are out there going, "Oh, Mum, shut up! Don't correct your son live on air." Okay, go on.
There's wizards, so you can be a wizard with magic wands.
So yes, I've seen that game. Some of these games are awesome, and you actually there's like another game as well where it's a race to pick up the telephone. So these little controllers that you have, you sort of put down in front of you, and you just, it's whoever picks up the phone the quickest wins.
Yeah, so it'll start ringing,
great,
and then
isn't
you've
it?
got to shout it, hello.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
And there's 2 one-player games. There's Baby, so you've got to make sure your baby doesn't cry in an eating contest.
It is actually, I have to confess, we played it and I really enjoyed it. I actually really like the ping pong game because you can play ping pong on it, to play table tennis. And there's a sword fighting game where you have to catch the sword. So it's, it's all really quite interactive, and it's nothing like a normal console or Xbox or Wii U where you're just sat down gouching out on the sofa for hours on end. So yeah, it's a good game. What else do you like about it?
Well, not really sure actually. Well, the Nintendo Switch is coming out with a new game on the 28th, as I mentioned. That is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I just found this out. It's not Mario Kart 8, that already came out, so that's a mistake I didn't want to make. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is coming out on the 28th, and I think it can have up to 16 players. Something like that.
And Mario is one of the most popular Nintendo games, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard lots about it. It's a really cool and fun game to play with your family and friends.
Yeah, great. And are there any other games coming up you're looking forward to?
On the Wii U, the main reason we only got the Wii U is for a game called Splatoon, which is a paintball fun game for basically any age, and it's all about shooting paint at the other squids, and it is really fun.
Yeah, no, it does sound great. So when you say you're shooting paint at each other, can you just explain how you do that? Because it's not a case of just shooting paint, isn't it? Isn't it something about having to cover your area in paint or something?
So say your team shoots orange out of their blasters and the other team's pink. Your objective is to say you have 15 minutes, and in that 15 minutes you have to paint the whole town. Let's say it was in a town, you got to paint it, and by the end whoever has the most part of the town painted wins.
Yeah, so that sounds great.
And there's loads of different weapons. I know there's like a paint roller, it's huge, you can just run around with that on the ground.
Great. So this is basically the latest game that's just come out. No, it's coming out. This Splatoon's coming out in July, is it?
Yeah, it's coming out the 21st of July 2017, but it's exactly 3 months away, so it's a long time.
It is a long time. And it's actually been quite hard to get hold of Nintendo Switches, although it was released on the 3rd of March. I believe they sold out instantly, didn't they?
They sold out in a couple hours.
Yeah, so what if somebody's listening and they want to get one now? Will they be able to?
Yes, go on eBay, Amazon, most of that. You might have to pay a little bit more to get it soon, otherwise you're going to be waiting a couple months until they can get their hands on it and be giving it to you.
And I believe the game shop as well are taking pre-orders, but there's no guarantees how long you can wait. It could be a day, it could be weeks. So, well, thank you, Top Dog, for sharing that with us today. We'll be speaking to you later on throughout the show. You're going to stick around?
Yep.
Cool, that sounds good. Thank you, Top Dog. Okay, so you're listening to The Word on Ujima. Hope you're going to stick around and join me for the next couple of hours. We've got an awesome show coming up. Loads of guests. Coming up very soon is going to be, as Top Dog told us, fitness and psychology coach Phoenix Liberty Rain. Let's have a little bit of music until then. This is, we started off the show today, by the way, with an awesome new track that I got sent. That was Jeremiah and a track called I Think of You, featuring Big Sean and Chris Brown on the Def Jam label. Now I'm going to play a track called Swagger, featuring Too Many T's. This is a track by Father Funk.
The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
Absolutely loving this track. Entitled Jungle Boogie, funnily enough. It's by Intras and Bateman, and I met these guys at the Music College DBS a couple of weeks ago. I absolutely love this track, so I asked them to send it to me to play on air. So yeah, loving that track. Got some amazing new music to play on the show today. Everything I've played so far I have been sent and is exclusive to The Word. So how cool is that? You are indeed listening to The Word on Ujima 98 FM or online and worldwide on www.ujimaradio.com. Joining me now in the studio, I'm really excited and thrilled to welcome back psychology and fitness coach Phoenix Liberty Ray.
Hello.
Hello, my darling. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How
nice
are
to be
you?
back.
You're looking absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
You're
It's been a hectic week, but
yeah, I am really sorry to hear that your son's been a bit poorly.
yeah, it's not been the best. So actually, I haven't trained this week. My first training was this morning,
Oh, really?
and that's very unusual for me
How
to have
does
a week out of the gym.
that affects you if you've had a week out of the gym?
To be honest, it doesn't really make a massive difference.
Right.
However, mentally, it makes a huge difference. And
How do you
that's
mean?
kind of what I'm here to talk about, I guess,
Right,
today.
okay.
So today we're talking about training and its impact on mental health. Not just mental health as in the wellness side of it, but the impact that training has on common mental disorders like depression, anxiety, ADHD. I have ADHD, as we've mentioned on the show before. It's got a massive impact on things like PTSD, which we talked about last time. So there's a whole breadth of mental applications to training, and particularly strength training. And this is where, that's my subject area. That's where I'm fascinated. So we know that exercise is good for us, and exercise helps us de-stress. We get endorphins from it. So, it kind of gives us that nice feeling afterwards. There's a sense of achievement, all of that stuff. So that's all well and good. And there's been a lot of studies on aerobic training, so you're walking, you're running, you're swimming, all of that kind of stuff, but there's not been so much research around the area of weightlifting. So I'm talking strength training. That means body weight exercises like squats and lunges and push-ups, but then adding load in the form of dumbbells or kettlebells or barbells, that sort of thing. So, yeah, when I don't train for a week, it does affect my mental outlook. I've become very irritable. I start becoming quite self-critical of myself, of things that I maybe haven't done at work or around the home, or and when I train, I'm just a lot more chill. Take everything in my stride. So
Yeah, no, I can see how that would work. So let's start at the beginning. How did you get into this? How exactly would you describe yourself?
I call myself a fitness and psychology coach. So I qualified as a personal trainer back in 2003. God, I feel old. And I did the normal personal training thing. So I actually started in Australia. I was a personal trainer in Australia before I moved here. I worked in Sydney, big gym on Bond Street, middle of, the capital. It was great. Came back to the UK. Personal training was not a thing here. It's only recently that people have been kind of using personal trainers, I'd say the last 4 or 5 years. But at that time, it was very difficult. People didn't even know what it was. And if you had a personal trainer, you were a celebrity. And that was it.
I mean, the immediate assumption is it's going to cost money,
Yeah.
and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And is that right?
It can do. I think there's a lot of people coming into the industry now. It's so easy to get qualified in personal training. If you want to be a personal trainer now, you can do a course in like 2 weekends, and it's a multiple choice paper. There's no real barrier to entry at all, which means there's a lot of personal trainers now.
Well, that's a slightly scary thing to hear then, isn't it? So
It
what
is.
if you're a person out there looking for a personal trainer? How can you be assured that you're getting the right person?
Well, do you know what? It does go on price. So if someone is charging you £10-15 an hour for personal training, then they've probably not been in the industry that long. I mean, it's difficult to say because they may have the background. They may have come from sport. They may have come from, some kind of fitness or coaching background. But the likelihood is they're probably someone that just likes going to the gym, that has decided they want to do that as a career path. So price is always going to be reflective of their experience. And if they have just qualified, there's things that you want to look out for. You want to make sure that they understand your background. So not just your medical conditions, but also your lifestyle. Like you may be a busy mum with kids. You may be a business person, so you don't have a lot of hours in your day. So, all of these things need to be factored in. But also there's the other side of it, which is medications. And because 1 in 4 people in the UK has been diagnosed with a mental health illness and is in treatment for mental health, there are a lot of contraindications between treatment, medication, certain diets, certain applications of exercise, which a newly qualified personal trainer is just not going to understand. So definitely ask about background.
And just to clarify, when you say, mental health has all that stigma around it, doesn't it? And everyone thinks, oh no, that's not me. But, mental health covers a whole wealth of issues, doesn't it? From depression,
yeah, it really
anything
does.
On upwards.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and even to things like anxiety. If you're a sort of person that feels anxious quite a lot of the time, maybe you've got a stressful situation. A lot of it can be reactive. So when we talk about reactive mental health, it means that you're in acute situation of stress. You've maybe had a bereavement, you maybe lost your job, you might have financial issues, something has triggered.
Or all of those.
Yeah, well, it's so funny, and so many people do. Yeah. And it's not maybe a chemical imbalance in your brain. It may be that something has triggered an episode where you don't feel in control and you feel unstable and you might need emotional help or support or whatever. So there are many, many facets to mental health.
Absolutely. Well, how would you go about, if somebody initially comes to you and they're sort of coming to you as a personal trainer, as for physical, do you then find sometimes it's slightly awkward trying to get into the mental side, or they're not? Are they always aware of that? That's what you're
when they come
about?
to me?
Yeah, or is it something you have to kind of...
I think it's largely the other way around. When I first qualified in personal training, of course that was the dark ages, so we were always told, you are just there to teach them exercise for an hour. And actually that's what personal trainers are qualified to do. They're there to instruct you on exercise for the allotted time slot that you've paid for them for in the gym or at home or whatever. They're not qualified to give you nutritional advice. You'd need to see a nutritionist for that. They're not qualified to help you on your emotional issues or around mental health. I'm qualified in several other things as well. So cognitive behavioural therapy. I'm doing my master's in psychology. So there's a lot of facets to what I do, but people that come to me generally know me as the lady that's going to sort out all of their emotional issues around food, past traumas, all of that.
Great, that sounds great. So we'll come to me next. You can sort out all my emotional traumas.
Perfect.
Because there's a few. We're going to take a little break for the news. We're going to go over to the studio at the BBC for the latest headline news. We'll come straight back to talk to Phoenix Liberty Rain more about fitness and health.
The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
You're listening to The Word on Ujima Radio 98 FM. You can tell I've had a couple of weeks out, can't you? Everything's not quite flowing in the same way, but you've got to forgive me. I've not been myself for the last couple of months. Let me just bring in my guest before I start pouring out my emotional issues. Phoenix Liberty Rain, who's a fitness and psychology coach, is joining me in the studio today. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. I may be a prime example of somebody who could benefit from you. I've had 2 bereavements in the last 4 months, and it's just been horrendous. I feel like I'm living in a bubble, and every so often I just feel like I'm in a dream constantly. I lost my dad in January, and then a few weeks later my brother had a heart attack and was on life support and died a few weeks later. We only had the funeral last week, so it's just been one thing after the other, and I still just don't feel like my feet are on the ground or anything's real anymore.
I think this is quite topical as well,
so
because
tired.
of the Prince Harry thing that's come out recently. So they were talking about Princess Diana's bereavement and how they were just in chaos for a long time afterwards because of who they were and the way that the media dealt with it, and obviously that was horrific, the way that Princess Diana died as well. So this is all really current as well. There's mental health is being talked about a lot now, and it's great. There shouldn't be this stigma around talking about mental health, particularly around bereavement. That's something that we all need to reach out for help with. One thing I think about bereavement is you need to kind of allow yourself time to process what's going on. And as you say, you kind of feel like you're in this bubble. Everything's a bit surreal. like you're going through the motions, but nothing's really making sense to you, because how can it make sense when, you know, you've lost these important people in your life?
Well, I mean, the first reaction I had was to keep busy. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to keep busy. I'm going to throw myself into work. And I had quite a big commitment at the time. And I really just ended up working really late. And of course, that was the worst thing I could ever do. I ended up making a horrendous mistake, which practically cost me a massive work experience, shall we say, and I upset some key people as well, and that was just because I wasn't thinking straight and I shouldn't have been working when I was.
Yeah, but it's difficult, isn't it, because you don't know how to kind of put yourself back into normal life. Like, how can life just carry on?
Yeah, but I think what I realised second time round when my brother died was absolutely step back and give myself time, which is why I haven't been around for a few weeks. But I'm very lucky that I could do that. Yeah. Not everybody has that kind of situation. I'm a single mum on benefits, so stepping back and out of my life and voluntary work wasn't hard. So what about for people who are working and stuff like that? How on earth would...
Yeah, and I suppose it depends where you're working, what your company's like, you know, what their allowance is for time. But things that you can definitely do is, you know, pull on your family for support, pull on the friends around you, you know, if you need extra support at school, if you're a mum, you've got kids, you know, use all of those avenues. Don't just think that you have to deal with all this stuff yourself, because everybody goes through this. At some point, everyone goes through it.
It's,
you know,
very hard to ask for help, though, isn't it? You know, that's what, because it's very hard. It's hard for other people if they can't help you, and then they have to say no. And it's as a single mum with no family, I find it so hard to ask people for help.
Yeah.
I have to have a friend take Barney every week after school on a Friday, and I feel awful. And then the days when she can't do it, I then have to go and ask other people. And it's not easy asking for help.
No, it's not. And I know exactly how you feel, because obviously my son's here in the studio with me, because I am a single mum. You know, I am in that life where I can't ask anyone either. You know, it's just me and him, and if I don't pick him up, no one picks him up. So it is difficult, but you know, I don't know. It's a situation where you just have to toughen up a little bit. It's a hard thing to say.
Other single mums are the ones that do understand.
Yeah.
And that I found that there are the one or two people that I really can ask for help. Don't get me wrong. There are a couple of parents who've been absolutely outstanding and so supportive. But and there are a couple of other people as well. I'm not going to start naming them, but you know, have been incredibly supportive at this time. But it's you're right. It's about having that little bit of courage to perhaps say, yes, I do need a little bit of help.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But as in terms of getting back to normal life, I suppose it's taking on these things one at a time. So obviously priority has got to be work. So that's the first thing that's going to have to go back into place. But then picking up other things and maybe putting it into a little plan going forward, because that also gives you goals.
Right.
You know, and goals are very important. Structure is important. Goals are important, particularly when you're going through bereavement or depression or, you know, some kind of issue where you're feeling lost. You need those anchors to kind of pull you along the way. And, you know, exercise is definitely one of them, but I wouldn't say that it's something you need to pick up at that acute stage. You know, that would come in a little bit later when you're feeling able to kind of get yourself up, get dressed, get out of the house, you know, maybe make it to the gym.
So do you specialise in just women, and if so, why?
Yes. Yeah, I say I only work with women. I do work with some men. The only men that I work with tend to be on the professional side. So they're either fitness professionals or they're athletes. And just because they kind of do what they're told. So it's quite easy, you know, just give them the thing, they'll go run with it. On the public side of things, I only work with women. I only have ever worked with women because I think I've mentioned this before, but women are not just smaller versions of men. Women's bodies are so complex. We have hormones, we have like different structures, our brains are different, we are completely different. So to try and be a jack of all trades means you just weaken your ability to help the person that you want to help. You know, I specialise in women, I specialise with mothers, I work with a certain type of person who has been through emotional trauma, who has issues around food. My clients tend to be, you know, ambitious women, so they will be working, they will be in high-flying careers. You know, there's a certain personality trait that I work with, and I know how to draw the best out of those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, you specialise. You've got your specialisation, and that obviously works for you.
Yeah.
And it's funny though. You'd think that it's so obvious. Of course, women aren't smaller versions of men, but until you say it, you don't actually realise how serious that is and how different the physiology is between men and women.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's a really recent thing. Even if you look at sports and, you know, like physique competitors, women were always treated as smaller versions of men, that we were given, you know, a very similar diet, just scaled back a bit. Training was scaled back a bit. It was all based on the male version. Now let's apply that to women by cutting calories or, you know, changing the training volumes or whatever. And actually it doesn't work because we are so complex. Our hormonal profile literally changes week by week across the month, and it doesn't happen for men. So then you need to apply nutrition to that hormonal profile, and you need to apply training to that hormonal profile. You need to apply sleep management, water management, all of that stuff. You know, it's huge. We could do a whole show on that. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And it must be so different whether a woman's had a child or not as well. That must make our bodies very different.
It affects it less than you would think.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, in that stage around, so obviously prenatal, to-term, and then postnatal, yes, the body is very different. But other than that, it's just an age thing.
Right, okay. Well, we definitely need to catch up. I had a full health screen recently, and it wasn't great. I mean, the basics were good, you know, at least the old tickers functioning away. But other things, you know, my metabolism is years older than it should be. And so we should definitely catch up and see what we can continue, and then you could come in on a regular basis, and we can perhaps see if we can help some of our listeners.
That'd be awesome.
How does that sound?
Yeah, I'd love to do a phone in and help some people.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, we'll do that. We're involved social media. If you're listening out there, please do get involved with the Word's Facebook page. It's just called The Word with Miranda, and we will in the future be putting up opportunities for you to get involved and post questions to Phoenix, as well as our brand new YouTube channel, which means all our radio shows, The Word, are now going to be uploaded to YouTube, and it's just called simply The Word with Miranda. So make sure you subscribe and like our new YouTube channel. Phoenix, thank you so much for coming in today. I wish we could talk all day, but we can't. We've got loads more guests coming up today, but thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Phoenix Liberty Rain, incredible fitness and psychology coach. We need to take a break, then coming up after that, we're going to meet photographer Tom Page. You are indeed listening to The Word on Ujima.
The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
You're listening to The Word on Ujima 98 FM. Superb track there from Ecto 1, and that's their latest track called Your Universe, featuring David Saw and Valentina Vale. Big thanks to Miff for sending me that track. That is yet another The Word exclusive, and it was called Your Universe. Absolutely love that track. You are indeed listening to The Word on Ujima. I'm Miranda. Thanks for joining me today. Loving the show so far. We've got Top Dog in the studio with me today. Hi, Top Dog.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What did you think of what Phoenix had to say about?
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you ever thought as a kid about how psychology and the brain can interact with keeping fit?
No.
It doesn't. It's not the first thing you think of, is it?
It isn't.
It isn't, is it? So yeah, really like Phoenix is going to be joining us regularly on the show, as I mentioned. So we're going to sort of get the social media interaction going. So if you've got any questions or advice you want to put at Phoenix, then just post it on our Facebook page, The Word with Miranda. So joining me now in the studio is photographer Tom Page. Welcome to the studio, Tom.
Hi there, Miranda.
Hi. You know, we must admit you're not a stranger to Ujima, are you?
No.
You are a pivotal part of our Ujima team here, handling social media and many other things.
Yes, exactly. I've been here about a year now.
It's that long.
It's flown by.
It has flown by.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
What do you like about working here at Ujima?
The atmosphere, the people, it's just so energetic and lively.
It's exciting, isn't it? What was your normal job for many years?
My job, and it still is my current job, I work for the NHS as a receptionist in a GP surgery.
Okay. That's an interesting job.
Yeah.
You must have to interact with a whole wealth of different kinds of people.
Yes.
And I imagine tact and sensitivity is a key
Yeah.
necessity for a job like that, which is perhaps why you're such a understanding and lovely person, because you are that, Tom. So we're here today because you are a photographer, and that's something that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And you've set up well, tell us what you set up and how long ago.
Well, I set up a photography group.
Yeah.
It's 7 years ago. I set
Wow.
it up in 2010 on this website called meetup.com, and there's like loads and loads of groups on there of many interests. And there was no photography group in Bristol, so I set one up on there, and I thought, oh, it'll never ever take off. And now it's just, we've got 1,500 members.
I can't believe you got 1,500 members. That is incredible. Well done. Well done. Why do you think the group's become so popular?
I think it's because people are getting really into photography now, because you can do it on your smartphone with Instagram and everything. And
well, I guess that leads on with the same with music, isn't it? It's the average person can now access the kind of equipment it needs to make music or take photographs to a decent standard. You don't have to spend a fortune on equipment.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's accessing the equipment, isn't it? So you don't have to spend a fortune on equipment to join your group.
No, absolutely. You can have just a camera phone. That's absolutely fine. We do have people with high-end cameras, and that's absolutely fine. We've got like complete beginners, and then all the way up to professional as well, and it all really works really well.
So why did you start the group in the first place?
Well, I set it up because I really wanted to learn more about photography myself and get better at it, and just meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think people think cameras are really scary things and that sort of thing, and there are camera clubs. But I think some people are a bit scared of those, really.
Yeah, well, you might think you have to be a real professional or, you know, a talented photographer to join it. Perhaps because of your attitude to it doesn't matter whether you have or have not. Perhaps that's what's appealed to people. So what sort of things do you get up to in your group?
So we have night walks, and we had one this week down around Castle Park. That was really, really good. We had about 10 people turn up. And it's very chilled, very laid back, and we also have we go to like National Trust properties and walks in the countryside at the weekends, and on the first Saturday of every month we have photography socials, all in different venues all over Bristol.
Great. So is the photographic group specifically for people in Bristol?
No, I've got members who live in the southwest, in South Wales, some in London.
Okay, so this meetup website, it's not just Bristol based then, obviously?
No, it's meetup.com is an international group.
Oh, right. So potentially you could have members from all over the world.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
how exciting. So what have you got coming up?
Right, the next one that we've got coming up, next Saturday, the 29th of April, we're meeting at Priors Wood near Portbury at 10 in the morning, and hopefully there'll still be plenty of bluebells out.
Oh, I think you will. Oh, it's going to be a bluebell walk. Oh,
Yeah.
my God, I love bluebells. We have just got back from Cornwall, and they have only just started to come out. Literally in the last couple of days, as we were driving home, we saw loads of them. So I think you'll be fine for next
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
That'd be
So
good.
that would be great. And don't they make awesome pictures? Woodlands filled with bluebells. Nothing better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
it's
that would be
gorgeous.
awesome. So, sorry, remind me, where are you going? Priors Wood, did you say?
Priors Wood near Portbury.
That's Portbury, is
Yeah.
it? I don't know Priors Wood, actually. So, yeah, that'll be great. So, what if somebody's listening out there now and they're thinking, you know what, this is something I'd be really interested in meeting with some like-minded people. I'd like to get into photography, or I am into photography. Maybe they're a photographer and thinking I can share my skills.
Absolutely.
You'd be up for that, wouldn't you?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
equally, if you're a person out there thinking that's something I'd like to get into, equally they're welcome. So how would they get involved and how do
So-
they get in touch?
The best way to find us is probably going to our website, which is bpgmeetup.co.uk.
Yeah.
And we're also on Twitter at BPGER.
Right, you see, I wrote that down as 999. Say it again, at
BPGER.
BPGER.
Yeah.
Got it.
The other Twitter one that's mine.
Ah.
Yeah, so people can contact me on that one as well.
Oh,
and
so at 999TP is you?
That's me.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's all right. I wasn't completely losing the plot. I do feel like I've lost the plot a bit lately. You know, I haven't been here at Ujima for weeks, have I?
No, it's been
a while, and I'm stumbling back into the show today. But it's really good to be back. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me
Tom,
on.
you're a pivotal part of Ujima, and it always makes my day when I come into the studio and see you here. So good luck with the group. Not that you need it with 1,500 members. You got a question, Top Dog?
Does your photography group have a name?
Yes, it's the Bristol Photography Group.
Good question. Do you have any children in it?
Yes, we've got lots of youngsters in there as
Have
well.
you?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
it
we've got
something-
all ages.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think's the oldest?
Maybe around 80.
Oh, really?
More.
Oh, gosh, I
Yeah.
was only joking. So you've got from kids up to 80-year-old. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. What do you think you'll still be going in 10 years' time?
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah, it's something you're basically going to keep going on and on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How much does it cost to join?
It's totally free.
It's not.
It is.
It
It's
is.
totally free.
Wow. Well, that's probably why another key reason why it's so popular then as well. So you're not actually trying to get anything out of anybody other than meeting like-minded people.
Absolutely.
So and I can highly recommend it because Tom is absolutely one of those few genuine people in the world. So get along and join his group and tell all your friends about it. www.bpgmeetup.co.uk. If you're into photography, go and join the Bristol Photography Group. Tom, thank you so much for joining me. Tom Page, the photographer, here at Ujima. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, my darling. Right, okay, so you're listening to The Word here on Ujima. Thanks very much to Tom for coming in today. We've got Toms everywhere. Tom Clover is filming, and that was Tom Page. And coming up soon, we have No, I'm joking. Coming up soon, we have Imogen Macintosh, who is from Aidbox Convoy, and she's coming along with a couple of refugees to talk about what they're up to at the moment at Aidbox Convoy, and also to tell me about an incredible festival that's going on next weekend, Love on the Hills, the mini festival. 2 days and 1 night of music and fun to raise money for Bristol refugee charities. It's only £40 an adult, £10 per kid, includes free dinner and breakfast, loads of different music, workshops, cabaret, yoga and comedy, and that's all going on in the Coed Hills rural haven. So yeah, that will be an awesome weekend next week. Touch wood the weather stays like this. Don't forget, tomorrow night at Lakota, if you're into your drum and bass, Red Dread Audio live at Lakota, back after 3 years to deliver a night of badass drum and bass spread over 3 rooms. DJs include the legendary Nicky Blackmarket, JFB, Potential Bad Boy, Inja, Kelvin 373, and a DJ set from the one and only Laid Black, and the Titan sound system. That's all there. So good to see Joe Peng doing so well with Laid Back. It's absolutely awesome. He's been part of the Bristol music scene for many, many years, and Laid Back are absolutely awesome. We must get some more tunes to play on the show. Going to take a bit of a break for some music. We'll be back soon. You're listening to The Word on Ujima.
The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
You're listening to The Word on Ujima. That was another wicked track from the brand new album from Father Funk, and that was called Get Happy. What more can I tell you on a Friday afternoon other than to get happy? By the way, that's the long-awaited debut album from Father Funk, which was released yesterday, and it's called Heavy Rotation. I played one of his tracks at the beginning of the show as well, called Swagger. I'm absolutely loving that album. So yet another exclusive for here on The Word. Okay, so we've got lots more guests to fit in on the show. We're here for another 50 minutes. Joining me now, really happy to welcome back to the studio Imogen Macintosh. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, Imogen, you are from Aidbox Convoy.
Yeah, Aid Box Convoy now, Aid Box Community. So we've had a bit of a change.
Okay, and why is that?
So Aid Box Convoy was all about convoying out to France
Yep.
and working in the camps, the French refugee camps. And we placed a team on the ground in the Dunkirk refugee camp and took a lot of aid boxes and aid out there. And then since about a year ago, we've now settled in Bristol, where we've opened an aid box community hub and free shop for refugees and asylum seekers who are in need of basic things like clothes, household items.
When we met, which was well over a year ago, which is when the press were really deciding to actually get involved with what was going on in an ongoing problem for years, how do you feel the nation's support is now, a year on? Is it still there, or is it now the press aren't interested, it's kind of forgotten?
Yeah, I mean, I think the people that became aware last year
Yeah.
and actively sort of did something to help the situation are still very much involved. It's not something that, you know, you're going to move on and forget, because once you've got involved, you're aware that this is happening and how can you turn your back. So those people are, you know, continue to be amazing. But yeah, certainly the media's decided that it's not so interesting anymore. So that certainly has made a difference. Some of our donations have started drying up. So
That's incredible, really, when you think about how the issues must still be horrendous in the countries that are being affected. We're joined today by a couple of refugees that you brought with us, brought with you, even. We've got John. Hi, John's from Palestine. Yeah, and Michelle, who's from Syria. Hi, Michelle. It helps if I put your microphones up, doesn't it? Let's try that again. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi, tell me where you're from and how long you've been here.
I came from Syria in 2012, and I feel nice, yeah.
Yeah, and why did you have to leave Syria? And why? Why did you want to?
You know, because in Syria we have war, and I lose everything there. Then I cannot, for safety, for safety for myself, that I'm designed to leave. But I never think about UK, but you know, this is the God, he moved me here in the UK, because I think the UK, you have a safety, she can make a safety for the people here and protect the refugee very well.
Yeah, and did you come on your own? Do you have any friends or family here?
No, just I have friend. It's my friend is John, and Imogen, now I met her.
So you had to leave all your friends and family behind?
I leave everything there. Everything there. It's very sad,
Yeah.
but I cannot explain how. It's make me stressful.
Yeah, well, it's the thought of it is breaking my heart. I can't imagine what you've been through to leave everything you know behind. Do you foresee that ever being able to return?
I hope, I ask God to will be safe and peace in my country, and one day I come back. Yeah, that's sure. Because, you know, if you live in your own country and you are happy, and suddenly it's coming the war for you and you feel no safety, any hour or any time, any moment could be death. So, and you won't leave from this. You don't want somebody who's coming to kill you for nothing, no reason, no nothing at all. I don't know what's happening, what's going on in my country. Really, it's very complicated.
It is very complicated. It is very, and I'm definitely not the right person to be trying to explain it. Imogen, do you have any sort of understanding? I mean, obviously we all know a little bit of what's going on in Syria. Do you foresee an end to this? What's going on at the
I mean,
moment?
it's far too complicated for me, to be honest, as well. You know, that there's unrest going on around the world. Syria obviously is just diabolical, and
It's horrific,
nobody
isn't
can
it?
really get their head around it, I don't think.
No. Well, I certainly don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I just don't understand why we are allowing or how that can happen to this level.
Absolutely.
It's just horrific.
And I think, the thing that people like us can do is to look after the people that have had to leave their homes. I can't imagine anything worse. My lovely home that I've built up over the years, my children, my family, my mother, my father, my cousins, and to have to leave that, I just, so I think that although we can't understand it, what we can do, just people like us can just at least be welcoming and try and help people settle in a new life.
John, when you came to the UK, did you find that people were welcoming to you? Not so much.
To be honest with you, it's kind of...
Can I just ask you to come really close to the mic?
Yeah,
Thank you.
to be honest with you, it's like... I got like cultural shock when I first got here.
Yeah.
Completely different from where I been brought up. But
Remind our listeners where you're from.
Hey?
Where are you from?
Palestine.
Palestine. And what, are you from? A village, a town? What was it like where you lived?
I'm originally from Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to move like to Jordan, but they wouldn't give us like refugee, and then they don't make life easier. So I decided that I had enough.
Yeah.
And then move somewhere else.
So how did you get over to England? Was this your first stop where you wanted to come?
Yeah, it's just happened that
Yeah.
it came available for me to come here, so I came here.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So what was, you said it was a real shock coming here to the UK. I know I'm not going to go on about how you got here, because I know obviously for people there's lots of different stories how you got here, and that's often a lot of the problems, isn't it? It was a lack of information, even how for people to seek asylum these days. So when you got to the UK, what was the sort of first thing for you that you had to do and had to sort out?
Yeah, I mean, the language, first
Really?
of all. Yeah.
Right.
It's really hard to live in a country that you don't speak their language, and then you don't know their traditions,
Yes. Yes.
And that's a bit... You could offend someone without meaning it, and people could offend you as well. But with years, I built up like adaptation, let's say, that I've learned about the English culture.
Yeah.
And I'm now... can say a bit relaxed about it.
Good.
But on the other hand, you still have that little bit of racist people that will make life a bit harder for you.
Yeah, it's shocking that in this. Yeah.
And they don't understand, to be honest with you, that you're not here willingly. Like, you came here because I've been born in a conflict. It's not my choice. And then everybody is seeking like a better life, or safety or something like that. But to be honest with you, I'm not gonna say all English people are bad, but you have the odd ones that make your life or your day bad.
Yeah. No, I
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. So you've been here a few years now, because obviously your English is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you settled in, but do you find you're still getting racist comments on a regular basis then?
Of course.
Really?
Especially after Brexit, it's increased a lot.
Brexit is the bane of my life. I hate Brexit, honestly. Post-Brexit, pre-Brexit, Brexit, anything. It was just like what that has done to our country is just horrific, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just divided
It's make
everybody,
headache
hasn't it?
for everybody, yeah.
Hasn't it? Just how about you, Michelle? How did that affect you with Brexit? You were living here already. Did you really notice a big difference once Brexit hit?
Yeah, my opinion, I think it's could be very different.
Yeah.
UK with the Brexit this, but I think opposite. If the UK with Europe, I think will be more strong. But this is the choice of the people, UK. He want to go out from the Europe. That's mean two choice. People he like with the Europe, and the people he doesn't like with the Europe. That's make headache for everybody here in the UK.
Yeah, I know. How do you feel about this, John? It's obviously something you feel quite passionate about.
You mean Brexit?
Yeah.
I mean...
How's it affected you?
It didn't affect me directly, but as I'm living in this community, and then you know, the intentions of the people, like the attitude. The attitude of the people have changed. Like they wanted to go out to get rid of all of the foreigners. They don't care where you came from or what you're doing here. You are a foreigner for them, and then they think that you're stealing their jobs or their benefits or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, they'd be offensive sometimes, and verbal abuse, if not physical abuse. You know what I mean?
So yeah, you've had physical abuse.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's fine with me. I'm now used to it.
He's so laid back, isn't he?
I mean, I can't live without abuse now. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I mean, and how horrific is that, Imogen? That
Well,
we've
I
got
think
this
it's-
lovely guy stood here, he's so laid back, going, yeah, it's fine, I'm used to it. Used to racist abuse, physical and verbal. I mean, what kind of society are we living in when he can stand there and say that that's okay? It
Well, I mean,
breaks
I was
my heart.
talking to John and Michelle earlier on, and you know, we were talking about coming on here, and I said, well, just, you know, sort of be honest about, just be honest, you know, what's it like in Bristol? And obviously, I'm in a bit of a bubble because I'm surrounded by wonderful
Like-minded people, yes.
Yeah, and of which there are many in, you know, many people who very much welcome people, you know, into the country, but there's obviously, it saddens me to think that in Bristol, you know, the place that I love, that, you know, there are people who can do that physical and verbal abuse to other people, and they don't know their story. So,
Excuse me, Imogen.
Yeah.
The racism is not here in Bristol. If you go down in London, you don't feel that the racism there, because you know why? Because most people foreign it there.
yes.
Yeah.
Nobody asks you where you come from.
Yeah.
But in Bristol, here it's small city as well,
Yeah.
like Salisbury, like Southampton.
Yes.
He look you. Where you
you
come
from?
from? And
Yeah.
I hear it
Yeah.
many times from the old people. Exactly, not the young people. The young people more interesting for me.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good sign. That's a
More
good thing.
interesting for me because those people he understand very well. The old people he say, oh,
Where are you from? What are you doing here? Yeah,
Brexit,
I
we
know.
go out.
I mean, look what
We
we've
go
got
out.
in
Come
America
on.
with Donald
we
Trump
need to go out.
wanting to build a wall to keep people out. I mean, this is what we're living with in this day and age. It seems like we're not.
My
We're going through
opinion, I see it's builded the UK with Europe.
Yeah.
Go up.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know, but this is my idea. I think it's the Europe working here. He doesn't take your work, I think. But on other side, some other lazy, he doesn't want this work.
Yeah.
He put his fault in the Europe.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
not important for me, but I give you my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's all we can do here, isn't it? Is give our opinions. Imogen.
I think the other thing is if you know, you meet met a large number of asylum seekers, refugees, who are, you know, either stuck in France or have arrived in the UK, and I can say that without fail, every single person is just desperate to become independent, be able to sustain their own living. You know, it's not, and these are people who
Exactly.
are pretty traumatised, have physical, mental health difficulties due to their experiences. So, you know, but they're just people just like you and me. So I think that the other important thing that we can do is just make sure that we are talking to the next generation.
Well, exactly. Isn't it a relief to hear of that comment, though, about how young people aren't like that? I mean, you know, this whole Brexit thing as well, what it has done to our country is just shocking. You know, it just seems to have created more of a problem, more of a stigma around refugees and immigrants working here in the UK. I mean, so often in the past there were jobs in the chicken factories that nobody in England would do.
Absolutely.
You know, and then they ended up having to outsource to Europe to get people to do these jobs. And now people are complaining about it. You know, I'm not an expert and I could rant on about it for ages. All we can try and do is help a little bit, like we can, for instance, and raising money, obviously,
Yes.
is one of the little things that all of us can do. And you've got an amazing chance for people to do that next weekend, haven't you? Got a little
Yeah.
festival going on.
So
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is a little mini festival. There's no credit to me at all. This is run by somebody called Beth Sanders.
Beth Sanders, yes, thank you for setting up today, by the way, Beth. Thank you.
She has just done an amazing. It's just going to be a fantastic 2-day event. It's in Coed Hills. It's in an art space. It's about 20 minutes from Cardiff. It's a 2-day event, so you can come along and camp, bring camper vans, caravans. There's going to be live bands, there's going to be bars, cocktail bar, big fire, hula hoops, face painting, henna, glitter booth, yoga. There's going to be something for everyone of all ages.
Yeah, music workshops, cabaret yoga, you name it, it's all going
absolutely
on over
free
next
meals,
weekend.
free supper, free breakfast. And it's going to be fantastic. You can see the details on our website, but also on...
Remind us your website details.
www.aidboxcommunity.co.uk.
Aidbox Community. There we go,
that's
.co.uk.
And can I
Sorry,
also just plug the
yeah.
fact that on the 29th, so the same weekend, 29th on the Saturday of April, we have a clothes sale going on at the Aidbox Community Hub, which is in Redland, 5 to 7 Waverley Road.
And that's where your hub is, in
That's where the
Redland.
hub is, yeah.
Right, okay. Well, that is good to know. And that's next Saturday
That's
as well.
2 till 5, so come and bag yourself some bargains. There's some really lovely stuff. Yeah.
That's great. So initially when we met, you were doing the aid box, which was basically the box that, had everybody's essential things like toothbrush and it's basics.
Yeah.
Does that still happen? Have you still got
We're not
that?
doing aid boxes at the moment because of the nature of the refugee camps out in France. At the moment, there are none. I don't know if you know, but Dunkirk camp that we worked on for a long time got burnt down completely last week. So
why do you think that happened?
I think that the stress that people are under is immense.
Right.
It's absolutely immense when you are basically transient, you have no home, you have nowhere to go, to call home. The stress of not knowing when your next meal's coming. There's criminals, there's smugglers in the camps, there's the fact that people are having to rely on hardened criminals to get to safety means that these camps do have criminals in them, and it only takes 2 people to start a fight, and I think that's what happened. The whole place got burnt down, and it meant that another 1,500 people were then back on the streets in France. There's already thousands and thousands. So we're still sending things out, but we're not doing aid boxes, but we desperately need sleeping bags, blankets, warm coats, new underwear. Imagine not being able to change your underwear for months and months and months. Deodorant, things like that, and you can bring it all to our hub.
Brilliant. That's really good. So it's so good to see that nearly 2 years later you're still keeping the momentum going, because it's just when you hear about Dunkirk completely burning down, it just makes you remember how prevalent it still is and how vital it is we all still keep up the help. So Imogen, you've been a real source of a real person of momentum, I suppose, in a way. You've been continuing this through for years now, so well done, and thank you for all your commitment and helping everybody so much. And also to Beth Saunders as well. People like you, I don't know how
her
we've managed
40 volunteers that have been organising this mini festival.
Absolutely.
And
everybody's
all my
doing it for nothing.
volunteers at Aidbox Community couldn't do it without them. We have so many people that just come in and do bits and bobs here and there and sorting, and they're just wonderful, and we're always looking for volunteers. So
always looking for volunteers. You heard that, so go to the website aidboxcommunity.co.uk. Imogen Macintosh, thank you so much for joining me today. John from Palestine and Michelle from Syria, thank you so
very
much.
I want to thank you for the Imogen, because she is very helpful, and I hope like Imogen we see more in this country, because she is very happy to help these people. She helped from the heart.
Yeah, she really
not
does.
From the talking. She running all time. Thank you very much.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, and it's glad to see that people like Imogen get acknowledged. So thank you very much, you guys, for coming in. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're listening to The Word on Ujima. We've now got to race over to the BBC now for the latest headline news. We'll be back shortly.
The Word with Miranda, your information gateway.
You're listening to The Word on Ujima. Absolutely loving this new track. This is another exclusive to The Word. It's by Django and a track entitled Forbidden, and it was produced by Amplified Wax, and it's just taken from the album Alone by Choice. And yeah, it's one of the indie artists going out in the States at the moment. If you want to tweet him, you can at Jan Go Lives. Let him know you heard his track today on The Word. So joining me in the studio now, we've got more guests. What a show we've had. Top Dog's with me because he's holidays. Oh, no, you're not going to talk. He's got a mouthful of sweets. Then you just love kids. Love it. It's all good. Yeah, you're listening to The Word today, and joining me, we've had such a bumper back show, but we're not finished yet. The best is yet to come. A few months ago, or maybe even longer now, I came across an alright band called The Happy Few. Got not a bad drummer and all of that. No, I'm joking. Actually, they came in the studio and they absolutely smashed it and played some songs live, and I was absolutely blown away. But not just me, other people. The response was amazing. Jai, come in. Step up to the mic.
Hello.
Yeah, that was amazing when you guys came in last time.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Didn't just blow me away, but loads of other people. And I filmed
That's
you
fantastic.
on a really crappy phone camera, but the response was amazing. The views
That's
that we
amazing.
had was absolutely phenomenal. So we've stepped up our game now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're now actually,
camera and
we
everything.
have a proper filmmaker, and we now have just launched a YouTube channel. So every week, starting from
Ujima Tube.
this week, with well, it's actually The Word. Tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The word tube.
But it's actually called Miranda, The Word with Miranda. So yeah, every week now you can watch the show go, not live, but a few days later you can watch it going out. So thanks
That's
for
great.
inspiring that.
Well, you're welcome.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So how's the Happy Few going?
Yeah, really good. Really good. We had a great gig at the canteen last night.
Did you?
Yeah, it was really. We flexed out some covers and some new tunes. And it was really good.
Awesome. And what have you got coming up over the summer?
We have a little known European tour that I've been booking,
Ooh,
which I haven't
awesome.
announced yet, but I'm booking our first European dates.
Oh, that'd be wicked.
Germany and France for now, but it should
Yeah.
be good. And then we're doing Camden Rocks on Saturday. And hopefully we'll come back to the full festival in the summer as well. In London.
Great. Yeah.
Bit of this. Yeah, hopefully we've got 2 EPs worth of material that's almost ready to go out as well.
Oh, well,
So
that'll be. Make sure you send one my way.
I will. Don't
That's
worry.
good.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
So one of these many projects you are involved in, including the Happy Few.
Yeah.
You brought this incredibly talented young lady with you today, Alba. Alba, hi. Step up to the right. I need you to almost kiss the microphone as if it's your boyfriend. Okay.
It's James Graham.
Think of it as James. Yes. Hi, Alba. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks
Now,
for having us.
Jai, explain how you met
Yes.
Alba.
Well, I actually met her through James. James is the keyboard player in Hannah Williams and the Affirmations, which is a band that I also play in. And his girlfriend, the lovely Alba here, moved to town, and she was looking for some new musicians for her project. And I listened to it, and I thought it was fantastic. I actually filled in for one gig when her intention was to continue gigging with her Brighton-based musicians.
Yeah.
And I filled in, and secretly I wanted to be the drummer for it, but she still was kind of a little bit...
Let go.
Yeah, she was
Let go of the old
tentative.
musicians.
But then when the day came, she said, "Well, actually, I think I'm just going to do a Bristol-based band. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Great, awesome. So
Yeah.
it's working out really well. How long have you guys been together, Alba?
As this.
Yeah.
A year, 2 years.
2 years, I think.
Two
Okay,
years.
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
how are you finding it making your way in the music scene? If you don't mind me asking how old you are.
Oh God, I've just turned 27.
Right, okay, so you're a wee babe. You're a wee
Be
babe.
careful this year.
Yeah, be careful. Dodgy year.
Well, it's
For
28.
musicians.
28. Why? Why is 27?
27 Club.
Amy Winehouse.
Kurt
Jeff
Cobain.
Buckley.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was he
yes.
27?
No, he was a
Oh.
bit older.
Right,
But yeah,
okay.
it's the 27
Johnny-
Club. It's
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah,
Amy
Jimi
Winehouse.
Hendrix.
Yeah.
One of
Janis
the guys.
Joplin.
Yeah, Janis Joplin.
Goodness me, I
Yeah.
never realised that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a
Right.
bleak thought. I'm just going to be fine. It's gonna be fine.
When's your birthday?
Just had it. 25th of
Oh,
March.
no. She's got...
Well, our birthdays are a day apart.
Oh,
So
really?
we had a double birthday party this year.
How old are you, though?
I'm 24.
Oh, no.
He's got ages.
So you're still
He's
really
got
young,
ages.
yeah? So we've got time for you to get famous and then die horrendously
Exactly,
when you're
yeah.
27. Perfect,
Bus crash.
great, love it. Sorry, Paul. Paul's also here in the studio. Hang on,
Good-
no,
good
you can borrow Top Dog's mic. There you go.
Paul's got his own mic.
Lovely, live radio, don't you? Hi, Paul. Who are you and where are you from?
My name's Paul James Hopkins, and I play lots of like bass and lots of projects. And,
Yeah, okay.
Get to play with the wonderful ALBA.
Yeah.
She's just so tremendous, and
She is. We
also
all
gets
love
to play
ALBA.
with her boyfriend James Graham in a band called Toy Face.
Right, okay.
He's an absolute amazing composer, and
Oh,
Everything's
really?
all interlinked.
I
Everyone
would-
plays with everyone.
You should do a family tree.
Family tree of
the
Bristol
bands.
And we
musicians.
should. We
yeah.
genuinely should.
No,
It's all quite
once
incestuous.
somebody did one about 25 years ago, and it was amazing. It started off with like Smith and Mighty in the middle, and then kind of went out, included just about every single band that there ever was.
Wow.
And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But I'd love to see a new one. So there you go. That's
Maybe
the
we should
project.
Yeah,
make
that's a
that
great
a task.
idea.
But the trouble is, you can't then leave anybody out. That's the trouble. If you
He's
leave
busy.
somebody out, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend
Yeah,
anyone.
you don't want to offend
Scrupulous.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the Bristol music scene's like. We're all very precious here. No, I'm joking. We're not. We're lovely. Alba, I'm here. I was meant to be speaking to you. So tell me about. Are you from Bristol originally?
No, I'm from Hastings down
Right.
in East Sussex.
So what brought you to Bristol?
Well, the music scene and
Oh, really? Specifically the music scene.
well, yeah, it is
Yeah, great.
renowned for There's just always been great things happening
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I guess I always romanticised the idea of Portishead. when I first saw the sign of Portishead, I was like, wow, it's so amazing. And everyone was like, it's just a town. But obviously I'm sure Portishead is great, but yeah, I don't know. The whole
never actually been there.
trip hop kind of massive attack, I don't know. It's
Right.
quite
Yeah, no,
renowned for
absolutely.
a very creative place to be.
Yeah,
So-
and also there's the Ronnie Size, DJ Crust, the whole drum and bass scene, and
Yeah,
Smith
yeah.
and Mighty, and Fresh Four, and the list goes on. Really, that's it's been incredibly influential on the music scene. I wouldn't say you're particularly trip hoppy, would you?
No, not specifically.
But you've got very,
there's-
very unique original vocals. I thought I heard your track for the first time last night. I thought it was amazing.
Thank you very much.
No, I did. I wasn't at first quite sure how it would fit into the show, and as soon as I listened to it, I thought, and you know what? It's talent. There's talent there, and that's all that matters. So, how would you describe what you do to say somebody's listening and has never heard your music before?
I guess I always put in the word atmospheric in there.
I tell you what, why don't we listen to it?
Yeah.
And just watch
You
the
make up
cuts,
your own
okay?
mind.
Yeah. Why
do
don't
the
we do
talking.
that? We'll do that. Let's the music do the talking. Albert, we're not going to have time to come back to you. So have you got any gigs coming up or anything like that we can talk about and want to mention?
Yes, we have we're down in London on Tuesday at the
Yeah.
Bedford, and we've just been confirmed for the Louisiana.
Oh, when's
on
that?
The 4th of June, supporting Wovoco Gentle.
4th of June, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Lovely. I'll make sure I mention that as well. So
Great.
great. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you for
joining
having
us in.
us.
Let's start this
Thanks,
track
Brenda.
and let's
Thank
have a
you.
listen. So you were going to listen now to Alba, and this is a track. I believe it's called Home. Yeah. You're listening to The Word on Ujima. Enjoy.
Grown up in distant lands, parted by 7 seas.